All right, good day. So today we're going to do something called placing and tracing. That's just kind of a name I made up, but quite often what happens when working with clients is they give you some super important document, often sketched out on a napkin, that you then need to draft up. So to simulate that here, I have drawn this very simple drawing here that we'll do together in lecture, and then a more complex one for you to do as today's assignment. So looking at this, appears to be a house, and we know we have a foundation width of 20 feet. So right now that's telling me I'm going to begin by opening my ArcE template, since we're dealing with the English measurement system here. So I'll go New Drawing, ArcE template, and as usual, you will typically, I'm just going to get rid of my grid altogether here. So you'll draw in your object layer. I will draw in my zero layer so you can see what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we first need to place our image, and then we're going to trace over it. So the way we place it is we go to Insert, and we're going to do a raster image reference. So the drawing I gave you, I drew by hand, I snapped it with my phone, I've got it to our desktop, and now we're going to import it into CAD using this insert and then raster image reference. I'm going to find my file, which is right here on the desktop, and I'm going to open it, and then it's going to ask me a bunch of questions about scale, and if I knew any of this information I could enter it, but I don't, so I'm just going to hit OK. And I can place my image. I'm going to place it here, and now it's kind of asking me how big I want to scale it, so I'm just going to make it about as big as this for the moment. So here we go. We actually have an image now inserted into our CAD file. And it isn't actually part of our CAD file. It still remains an external file, which is a bit cumbersome in CAD because if you were to email this file or save it to work on it at home, you have to make sure you also include that image because it's a reference image, meaning that every time you open CAD, it's going to find that image and reload it into the software. So just make sure that you have your CAD file and your image file whenever you move documents around. Okay, so now what I want to do is, before I begin just tracing over this with all my typical CAD tools, I am going to scale this so I have roughly accurate scale here. So we know that this is 20 feet, but if I were to actually take my dimension tool and dimension this, I can see that I have 9 feet. So we're going to scale this so it's roughly our correct size here. So I'm going to select my document, my image. I'm going to hit Scale. And my base point, I'm just going to pick my base of my house here. And then I'm going to hit R for reference. And I'm going to go my entire width of my foundation. I don't know what's going on outside, my apologies. And I'm just going to rescale this here, type in 20 feet manually. Alright, I'll zoom out a little bit, and then just to check my work, I'll dimension, we'll do a linear dimension, and going across here I can see, yeah, it's right about 20 feet. Alright, so now I can kind of easily go over this and trace it. So I'll start here at my point, and I know that my width here is 20 feet. So I'm going to punch that in manually. But then my height here, I'm going to just kind of move my cursor, and looks like it's around 13 feet. Oops. Why did that not work? 20 feet. So usually when I'll do a trace, I'm going to manually I'm going to manually enter in my dimensions. I'm just going to kind of hover my mouse to get an idea of what the dimensions are. So looking at this here, it looks like it's about 20 feet by 13 feet. So I'm just going to manually punch in 20 feet and then 13 feet. And then my roof lines out here comes out to about here. Looks like it's about 17 feet. So I'll go 17 feet here, and then I'm going to snap it to our endpoint there. See that? And then do another line here. I'll do my 17 feet again. And then snap it here. So it's not, obviously being a hand-drawn image, it's not perfectly to scale here. So I've just kind of cleaned it up and kind of guessed what the original intent of the client was. And then I'll go over, obviously, my paper space, and we'll clean this up a bit. Why am I not going into my viewport? There we go. So probably 3/4 to... And at this point, you could choose. Usually, I'll have or I'll put my image in its own layer, so I can easily turn it on and off. What I'll do here is just delete it, and there's my house. So we're going to be doing a lot of place and trace assignments over the next few weeks. So. Good skill to have, nice, quick, and simple way of getting hard copy things. Maybe somebody has old blueprints of something back before they even had computers, and now they're doing a remodel, and they have all that stuff inputted into a computer. This is the best way to do it. It's always a good way to make sure you don't forget putting in something as well. So obviously, big, complicated blueprint. If you're doing it by hand and looking at the blueprints and trying to copy them into CAD without doing this place and trace, it's easy to forget to add something. But when you actually have the blueprints on your screen you're tracing over, it's a lot easier to make sure that you don't forget to add one of the components. So any questions at all on place and trace? Excellent. Good luck.